The General Banter Podcast with Paul and Jedis.
What's happening, people? Welcome to the General Banter Sunday Q&A, a nice little guided conversation, guided by questions from the Dead On Mafia folk on the Patreon. I got new headphones. If you're watching the video version of this, they're way too big. I'm slightly embarrassed now. I was wearing them thinking the colorway was cool, and now I feel like, you know, that's like something a fucking Russian astronaut would wear. That's way too big. Now, why'd you not tell me that the fucking... That's way too big. Anyway, we'll get stuck into these questions here. I think we have about 15 questions. If I do the maths on that, we spend 2 minutes on each question, which we won't. Then we should get half an hour out of this. Good way to spend your Sunday. It's probably pissing down because we have a guy painting the house, and I've had to check the fucking, you know, the goddamn weather every day, and every day it's pissing down because, you know what I mean, it's July, and why would it not be torrential downpour for the next 2 weeks? Ireland. Here we are. Question number 1 comes from Absolutely Marinated. What other Patreons do you support? Now, this is a slightly embarrassing question. I don't support any. And I should, you know, as a mark of respect, I feel like I should. The people who I you see, this is what I don't like, right? This is what I don't like. The word support, I don't like. You know, because some people do need support. Some people are like, yeah, listen, this is my only form of income, and I really do need support. I try and turn the tables a wee bit. I want you to think that I really want this extra material, so I'm willing to buy it. I want you to look at it like that. I don't want to be sitting here going, please support me. I want to be delivering on the goods. I want you to be going, it's really worth my while to buy into this fucking Patreon because I'm getting 2 extra podcasts a week, you know, early access to things. I'm getting to view video projects that Colin's been working on that no one else gets to see unless you're behind this paywall. I want you to be excited to fucking get in there. Obviously, it is supportive. I appreciate it. What I should do is maybe support, you know, all my mates that have a podcast and are trying to start out and whatnot. I should do that. You know, famously, you have the blind boy type people who are like, this is my only form of income and all that shit. Well, do you know what, bro? You got to do more shit. You got to do more stuff for people on Patreon. You can't just be like, you must buy this material off me. Don't put it out then for free. As soon as it's out there for free, no one's going to buy it. You got to give people more shit. So that's how I look at it. I probably should support the podcasts of my friends. Am I listening to them? Fuck no. That's real support if I was taking time to listen to them. But absolutely I'm not. Because everyone that I've ever met in comedy has a podcast, and I, believe it or not, have other things to do. You know, Woodsy was on this podcast, good mate of mine. Am I listening to his podcast? Absolutely not. But fair play to him. But I should do that. A lot of the podcasts I listen to don't have a Patreon. A lot of big podcasts just get major bank from sponsorships, so they're doing okay. You know, maybe I'll use their link to Fleshlight or whatever the fuck it is. That was back in the day. Every podcast in the land was just like, hey, we're sponsored by a fucking torch that you put your cock in. And I'll be honest with you, if they came forward now, I would fucking take a sponsorship from them. That's what podcasts need, because you know, you're allowed to say whatever you want, and people don't like that. You know, when they're putting sort of money behind it and waiting for you to advertise stuff. You need something like Fleshlight where you're like, yeah, we'll let any fucking scumbag promote this, because at the end of the day, you're putting your dick in a Pringles tube. It's all good. Question number 2. Brian Etherson. Fears and some obscure things you look forward to as a father. Yeah, it's scary having a kid because all of a sudden you're very fucking aware of how quickly time passes. You know, our baby, you go to bed twice and 8 months have fucking passed. You're like, what the hell happened here? And then you're scared, like looking at your baby going like, this is going to be a fucking man. You know, it's going to be like a teenage boy that you're gonna be fucking worried about in case he's acting a dick or doing something stupid. And then he's gonna be a fucking man, and you're like, are you gonna raise good people or what the fuck's the crack? You're scared about that, But at the minute, you're basically, picking up, trying to brush up peas in your kitchen because he's throwing them all over the place. There's plenty of time, but there's no time. You know what I'm saying? Things to look forward to. I'm looking forward to, I know people who have people a bit older than me have kids, and the kids get up, around 10 or whatever, and you can just do more fun things with someone who's slightly older. A baby who's like fully dependent on you for everything. Not that a 10-year-old child isn't, but you can take them out and you can go, oh, we're going to walk around this place, and the two of you walk around. Or you walk around as a family instead of like just pushing them around and carrying them and feeding them and changing their nappies and all. Just once they start to get a bit more active, you can do more stuff. I'm excited for that. Big style. Patrick says, are you going down the same conspiracy holes as Mickey and Connor now? And then Brendan O'Prey beneath that said, oh Jesus, I hope not. I mean, do you know what? Some of it intrigues me, but I can shut the lid on it pretty quickly. These boys are fucking anytime. Connor Keys will be like, oh man, I have a good fucking documentary to send you, and I'm like, cool, what is it? And he goes, it's basically a 4-hour slideshow. It's basically a PowerPoint that's 4 hours long that gives you the ins and outs of where money goes and why it's not backed up by gold and all this shit. And you're going, how about no? Tell me more about Epstein fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? I'll dip in and out of it. That's, some of it's dark and seedy and intriguing, and you're like, fuck, that's a crazy if that's what the real underworld is like. And then I put my phone in my pocket and I go about my day. Whereas these boys are fucking, they smoke joints and start drinking pints, and they're sitting there at fucking 3 a.m. going, man, they just keep talking about they are fucking taking all the money. They have all the money to fix all these problems, but what are they doing? And you're like, what are you doing? It's a Tuesday and you're opening Buckfast at 4 a.m. So I'm not going down the conspiracy holes. I will look into the hole, but I'm not penetrating the hole. I'll peek in it, maybe put a finger in the hole, but I'm not getting fully immersed in the hole. Because no doubt some of them are interesting. Well, I mean, as Connor Key said, a lot of these aren't conspiracy theories. People call it conspiracy theories because it means that they're not that serious. But, a lot of it is just with a bit of research, you find out all these connections, and certain things are just facts. Some things are just true. Someone just started a Porsche outside this building, very loud. Speaking of getting in holes. So yeah, there's no fucking way I'm getting sucked into that. Like, Connor Keys, I feel like has his job that he gets paid for, and then he has another job which is, researcher in his spare time, where he's keeping notes on different stuff. And Madeleine McCann wasn't even a real person, never went missing in the first place, just used it fucking as a false flag and all. And you're like, all right then, let's just go to Nero for a flat white, because fuck all this. And he's like, no, it's alright, fucking stay up all night, get to the bottom of this shit. Before what, your kids wake up in the morning, you have to fucking go do all that job too? Jesus Christ, man. I knew fucking Wayfair were selling Waynes and fucking chest of drawers. Cool. Terrible crack, but it's like coronavirus. Don't know anyone that's ever had it. Don't know anyone that's ever been kidnapped and put in a fucking chest of drawers. That's fact. Connie McLaughlin. I love people's names, man. Love them. Connor McKentigart. Is that spelt? I'm sure it's spelt right. I don't even know how to say that. Great names. Great names. What country / place are you most horned up to go visit when this is all over? My dream sort of hit list is, a lot of it's tied in with comedy. I would love to put a string of gigs together in America, but who knows if America won't have slidden into the sea. Slidden, made a word up. By next year, I would love to do a little American tour. I'd love to get to Australia. There's a lot of places. I mean, there's places like fuck. I've never been to New York, which is like a sin when you're a comedian. Like, gotta go there. There's places I want to revisit. I want to revisit Vietnam pretty urgently. I'd love to go to South Africa. We've got friends over there. Would like to go to Cape Town, see what that's all about. Where else, man? Where else? Aaron had talked about going to Japan for a month. I'd fucking love to go to Japan, see what that's like. And most of these choices are all, food based. But then also, when you're not even allowed out of your fucking front door, you start to realise, like, there's lots of places in Ireland I haven't even seen. I see people regularly upload photos like, oh, we're just in fucking wherever, somewhere in Galway or fucking just, here we are on some secret beach in fucking Donegal. There's loads of places where you're like, I haven't even done the basic shit yet. So there's a lot of that has to go on, for sure. I mean, realistically, I was most horned up about going to our local cafe to get fucking smashed avocado and a poached egg. Did that the other day, in fact, and the baby was on my knee. Now, this is bad parenting. They tell you just don't even bring the kid near the fucking table. But he was sitting away, whatever. We ordered another round of coffees. Coffee got to the table. Baby very quickly, wasn't even close enough to get it, but reached over and like yanked something, and the full flat white fell. Didn't touch the baby, fell directly on my cock. And I was wearing a pair of Under Armour workout shorts. I think I had done a workout. I was in just trainers and socks. And these very thin shorts, the thin ones where you can see the vein on your piece. And pulled the fucking flat white right down over my cock and balls. And I felt it seep down my crack. And, because I had to make sure the baby was okay. So I basically just, gritted my teeth as it singed my bag. Which is a roller coaster ride in itself, because it's like the shock of it falling, then a delayed reaction to the peak sort of temperature, and then everything from then on is cooling down as it literally trickled down the back of my taint. And I was like, no, it's all good, and then you get home and you fucking a full layer of your ball bag comes off. But you know what I mean, you live and learn, and we've learned now just leave the baby in the pram in the footpath, and then he's well away from all flat whites. As I get a skin graft from my elbow to my ball bag. That's the only place they can do a skin graft on your ball bag. I'm afraid we're going to have to take your elbows off, sir. No bother. And I have a tattoo on my elbow, so end up with a sort of Aztec nut bag. That's the clip going up on YouTube, Aztec nut bag. Connor, how do I say this? I need a phonetic breakdown of this. Connor McKendegard? It's like it starts Irish and then it just moves into like Icelandic. Do you think the likes of McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Amazon or Facebook will ever fall in the same way the Roman Empire did? What will make it happen and what will take their place? I don't fucking know. I mean, the Roman Empire wasn't like a business. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I know they're very powerful organizations, but you get to a certain level of success and power where other people start stepping in and sort of colluding and, whatever. And a lot of companies own a lot of big companies and shit. I don't know. I don't think anything's going to take Amazon down, for fuck's sake. Yeah, it's taken over the world. It's the IKEA of fucking everything else that's not furniture. It's you know what I mean? You go into, like, you used to go into someone's house and be like, oh my god, that's gorgeous, where'd you get that? And now you just go in and be like, this is your IKEA stuff. And if you come to my house, my IKEA stuff is there. The stuff that I chose to take from IKEA. Whereas Amazon is just literally like I know there's some countries where you can, you know, if you order before a certain time, it'll be with you that day, which would be fucking tremendous. But yeah, it's just gonna be like you can get absolutely everything from Amazon, and it's gonna get to the point where, you know, you don't even go in. The predictive fucking ads are just gonna be so accurate that you're just gonna open your phone and be like, how did it know that I needed bananas? Yes, bananas. Toilet roll, whatever. I'd like that. Let me buy this. Need some fucking AirPods. It's just gonna suggest to you what you want, and you're gonna be like, you're correct. I do want that. No, nothing's stopping Amazon. Big Bezos there with his fucking wonky eyes, killing it. Fair play to his wife too, fucking bitch. Imagine being the richest woman on earth just because you got divorced. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. She did well. She knocked it out of the park there, didn't she? There you go. 6 inches of penis and $6 billion. You're welcome. Bye. Oh, wait, we went to do the same question there. Philip Curl. My partner, in brackets, Sarah, of course, would like to know if you and the good wife would ever start a regular podcast weekly, or better still, Maureen having a podcast of her own. What do you mean better still? Fuck you. Fuck all to do with me. I'm happy enough listening to yourself. Yeah, well, the problem is my wife now is some sort of fucking goddamn influencer. You know, I put on a secret gig and everyone walks past me like, we love you on the podcast. No, she probably should start one, but she's on her fucking own, I'll tell you that. She's on her own. She'll be like, what's the best? Can I just record in your office? And I'll be like, nah, bitch, get your own office. Sure, Niall could just edit. Nah, fucking figure it out yourself. We did think of doing a podcast together, in fact. A separate one. But no doubt that would come down to me to fucking come up with a name and brand it and set it all up. And then she would swan in and record an episode. And then just get really fucking rich and famous off the back of it. And I'd be like, all right, we're over here just fucking slaving away. Yeah, she can start her own, sure. Talking about fucking whatever women talk about. I'm so upset about that question. Do you know what that has made me do? Think about never podcasting more, never again. Phil Rafferty, do you ever get, oh, you're such a hands-on dad, good for you for carrying out a basic parenting duty like changing a nappy just because you're a dad and not a mum? It doesn't happen to me so much, but now it used to piss me off big time. Like, of course I'm going to do that. Are there people who don't? There definitely are people who don't. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, I used to get the same thing, like when I used to play rugby and I used to play prop, and the odd time you just get the ball and pull off like a nice pass, or, you know, you'd kick the ball or something, and people were like, fucking fair play to you. And you're like, why would I not be able to pass the ball when I play rugby fucking 5 times a week? You know, oh, you're usually just a big fat cunt that run into people. And you're like, well, not today. You know, today I'm fucking Dan Carter. Suck my dick. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, there. I mean, it probably doesn't happen so much anymore, but there probably used to be like, you know, you see, they almost kept the dads away deliberately. It was like a woman was having a baby and the guy just fucking turned up when the baby was born. Oh, that's it out now. And you're like, oh, happy days. I was out here fucking drinking whiskey and smoking cigars. But now you're like the birth partner and everything's done together and you're expected to do all that shit too. And I don't really know why you wouldn't want to. And I don't know how you could do it for years and not muck in a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? Just like fucking, oh well, there's the baby shit itself, so I'm out of work here, bye. There are times where you're just like, you gotta get stuck in. Also, it doesn't really take a lot of skill and coordination to wipe shit out of a baby's ass crack. I couldn't do that. I'll tell you what, I mean, sometimes I do notice that like most things are designed for the operation of a female. And if you're a fairly large man, it becomes very awkward to be like, okay, I can't even get my fucking hands in this thing, or down the side of this to plug a baby into it, or I can't fucking. Everything's at ground level or like half bent over, and you're like, I've had a child for 6 weeks now, and I need, discs fused because everything's on the fucking floor. That's what I noticed. You're like, I've just been bent over for 6 weeks now, or sitting on my arse on the floor, even now. But yeah, yeah, even at the fucking antenatal, is that what they call it? Antenatal classes? People are they talk down to men a fair bit. But that's just the way it's been for years. You get some fucking 65-year-old ex-midwife and she's just like, nice, you big fucking retarded fellas and all this is called a nappy. Believe it or not, children can't go to the toilet themselves for quite some time. And they, telling you really basic shit. Like, don't be like bathing your child with a power hose. Don't be boiling a kettle and pouring it over the baby in a bed to wash it. If the baby's going to the toilet, don't set it in the toilet. Just real basic shit. Like, the baby, I want everyone to pay attention for a second. The baby, which will be a week old, cannot eat Doritos. Just things like that. Don't be annoyed that a newborn can't play PlayStation. Okay? But yeah. Mansplaining in reverse is what you fucking experience. Adam Rogers, the new term pod slut, a person who listens to lots of different podcasts but is not loyal like me. Rogan and Geddes. Oh, new t-shirt idea. CIA, Collins Intelligence Agency, on the back, suck a fart out of my asshole, quote from Norseman. Very funny. Okay, that was the most fucking over the place question of all time. I don't even know if it was a question. That's just suggestions. Yeah, you're a pod slut if you listen to a bunch of podcasts. This guy just listens to Rogan and Geddes. Now, that's when you know you've made it, when people just hit you with the fucking surname. Oh, do you listen to John Abad with Con Geddes? Nah, people just be like, I listen to Rogan, I listen to Geddes. I'm happy enough with that. Happy enough. I've had that before. Man, you just trying to be Joe Rogan. Fucking right I am, bro. Man, you're doing a podcast and you're just trying to be a guy who does podcasts for millions of dollars. Fucking right on. You know what I'm saying? Pod slut that. Kelly Doherty just got a cockapoo puppy. What the fuck is that? She's 95% cute, 5% cunt. Do you have a favourite dog breed that you'd like to get? Let me just Google cockapoo. Let me see. Cockapoo. At a certain point, just make up another fucking name for it. You know what I mean? It was like half a poodle, half a cocker spaniel. I mean, do you need to call it that, or do you just call it? It's like furry. It's just a furry old dog. There you go, cockapoos. Not my cup of tea, but cute all the same. Full grown. You see, they're cute when they're babies, aren't they? Cockapoo. Yeah, I don't know what I wouldn't even know that was a cockapoo. I'd just be like, what sort of furry dog is this? Anyway, very cute. I'll tell you what I do like. Obviously, a man who looks like me does appreciate like one of those blue staffies. Very nice. I'm a straight up Labrador guy. Big into Labradors, but then also Maureen's uncle has a dog and it's a border terrier and it's fucking class. That's my favourite type of dog. Small-ish, smart, obedient, not yappy. That's what you want there. Look at that wee guy. Cute as fuck. And then you feel it and it's rough. Rough hair on it. I like that. Yeah, I like a border terrier. This is real groundbreaking chat we're spitting out today. Welcome to the jet. I listen to Rogan. I listen to Geddes. What's a cockapoo? How was it gigging again? Even though it was a small gig, do you miss it more than you thought you would? Yeah, we did a bit of a secret gig here in the office. I'll do another podcast maybe next week and sort of go over that a bit more. But yeah, we did a podcast. Or sorry, we did a gig. It was great. Obviously, there's a noticeable anxiety during the day that I haven't really experienced in a few months. You know, you do have this sort of like hovering anxiety because you know you're performing that night, which can be very tiresome if you're gigging a lot back to back. Especially the way I do, where it's like people are coming to your gig or your club or whatever. You're not just dropping into someone else's comedy club. A lot of the pressure is on you specifically. So I haven't felt that in a while. And then I did the gig, and it was actually fucking really good. I don't know whether people were being polite because I'd invited them to the office, but you know, doing bits that I expected to just land flat in their face and getting laughs and whatever. So yeah, it felt fucking good. But yeah, it didn't really feel like I was missing it day to day. But when you do it again, you're like, oh, this is good, isn't it? This is good. Everything around it stinks. Like you know, you're nervous, you're pacing around, you're snapping at people, just so that you can fucking be sharp for a 15-minute period of time. But yeah, it was great. It gave me a lot of fucking confidence, in fact. You know, I was like, oh, I thought I might have forgot how to do this. And you're like, no, it's kind of just like riding a bike. If you've been doing it for long enough, you can just pick it up again. Can't talk anyway, like, but will you have more private gigs for different people on the Patreon? That was the plan, but we'll give it a wee minute because obviously there's like secondary waves of fucking lockdowns happening all over the place. And I'm sort of like, did we just get away with that? Will you... Oh, wait a second. We're getting to the end of this now, are we? That picture is lethal, no question. Just sending some love because I'm a wee crawly bumlick. Respect. I mean, I put up a photo of a piece of art that by our boy Steve Nice, and it was the Death Row Records artwork with, only it said Dead on Mafia, with the wee Dead on Mafia face on the bag thing. Which immediately I sent to my t-shirt guy, and I was like, get these on a fucking long sleeve t-shirt, and he was like, no bother. So they're coming in white and black and pink. So there you go. Let me see. Carol Baskin is doing birthday shout outs now for cash. Check this out. Someone said that to me. Oh, would you ever get on I forget the name of it. There's like an app.
Cool cats and kittens. It's Carol Baskin at Big Cat Rescue.
Fuck's sake. It's playing through the speakers in the office. Dickhead.
Hi, Rolf Harris. All your kids wanted to get together and tell you that you have really touched them and that they love all that you have done for them. I hear there's a lot of great stories about you and your best friend, Jimmy Seville. Can't wait to hear those. Happy birthday, Rolf.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that was fucking weird. Feel weird about that. Jimmy Savile, Saved by the Bell or what? Jesus Christ. Where do you start? Favourite comedy club outside of NI? Stand Glasgow's pretty fucking banging. Hot Water Comedy Club, gigged there once. It was my own show, mind you, but it was fucking brilliant. Just a purpose-built comedy facility. Incredible. Final question. By the way, I think Hot Water Comedy Club are setting up some online subscription thing where like a load of comedian sets go on this service, and if you pay into it, you get to watch all the specials, which they shoot. And I think mine's on there from the time I did it, which is funny. A lot of good crowd work and stuff. One guy in the front just kept, I mean, you know when people say like crying, laughing, the guy I think had a problem with his eyes. The guy it looked like he poured water on his head. He was crying that much. And he was there with his parents, and I slagged him to death, and he probably doesn't feel great about that. Final question, Daniel Fox. would you ever consider writing a book? Bro, I can't write my fucking name. Okay? First of all, what the fuck would I write about? If it was like an autobiography, I'm pretty sure most of you will have heard all the crack. I don't know what sort of book I would write. But then again, I'm a big believer in you do what you do, and I don't think people should do things just for the crack, you know, because it's the done thing to do. Oh, I wouldn't be. I mean, you'd have to be like famous. You'd have to be just in that showbiz trying to be famous circle where you're like, oh, I've been on Celebrity Big Brother and I've done this, and then I fucking had an eating disorder and now I'm writing a book because that's the fucking done thing to make money. I don't know what the fuck I'd even write about, like, to be honest. But I don't know. I'd rather make a film than write a book, to be honest. I'd rather try and make a cool documentary or something like that than actually sit down and write a book. Once again, the famous quote from Garth Marenghi, who I look a lot like right now with these fucking glasses, but like, he's like, oh, I'm one of the few people who's actually written more books than he's read. That would be me. I'd be like, yeah, I've listened to a few audiobooks, but also I'm over here writing books, and I've read 3 of them. Most of them Goosebumps. So, I don't know. I don't know what it would consist of if I did write a book, so for the minute, that's a no. I'd rather make a documentary or something like that. And that's it. I think that's the end of the questions, my guys. Sunday Q&A completed it, mate. We got merch on the way, man. I just thought I would mention that because I've gone back and forth with the merch guy. Big merch moves happen. Very excited for it. But for the meantime, we've got some major guests. This is going out on Sunday. Tomorrow morning, we are talking with Liam McCourt, MMA fighter from Northern Ireland. And then also Tim and Aaron McCann. Tim and Aaron McCann are calling into the podcast. They do a podcast called Dirt Civil. You'll know Aaron from the podcast, obviously. But that'll be fun content for the week. So look forward to that. I'll speak to you next time. Take it easy.